I'm Jen. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to your first Wednesday live. Even if you didn't make the other last three, that's totally fine. Now, did you have any pain from what you did this week? You're gonna, if you did, you're gonna DM me. You're gonna send me a direct message, and I'm gonna help you. All right. And have you noticed that the more consistent you've become, the easier it becomes? The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes. Last week, one of the comments was attaching it to something you're already doing, brushing your teeth, and then doing your short yoga practice, right? Or right before bed, or wherever that is for you. Did that help you? Okay. And this last question I have for you is, how is it making you feel? Right? A little freer in your body, easier to breathe. I was doing some research today because I'm planning something really special for all of you. And so I was doing some research on just overuse repetitive syndrome. And the statistics are really shocking. The rate of musculoskeletal issues in the hands, the shoulders. Now, I haven't seen yet, and I'm sure there is, like, measurements on the mental effects, but these were the physical effects. Judy's saying, yes, consistency is key. Yes, feel openness. Great. I love that word, openness. I mean, it doesn't only speak about the body, does it? It really speaks about so many more things. So yay, Judy, thank you for sharing that. And I'm so glad. Please feel free to pipe in, chime in with comments. I try to stay up on them. So the statistics are astounding, and there's just no two ways about it. I wish I could candy coat this. I don't want to candy coat it. You have to have something you're doing on a regular basis. And the reason I found yoga, right, because I've been practicing more than 25 years, is because it kind of nourished all these parts of my body, my soul, my mind. Oops, somebody's bouncing at me, the messages. And it really fed that. And, I'm going to talk about this a little later, but I'll just jump into it. Not all yoga. So I read this article on yoga therapy, on repetitive strain injury, not for interpreters. And one comment that stuck out was like, not all yoga is good for repetitive strain. And you might be thinking, well, how do I know what's good, what's bad? And that's why I'm here, because I've been doing this for 25 years. I've tried everything. I've made all the mistakes. I've injured myself. I've repaired myself. I've come back. And then I found a practice that just made so much more sense. It just made so much more sense. It was progressive, and you learn step by step. And so it's not that, oh, I'm an interpreter, I can't do those things. Quite the opposite, because those things, those poses, those actions, those movements are helpful. So when you're in a situation where you're like, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, you're missing in terms of yoga, you're missing the opportunity there for growth. Okay, so the other thing I realized that, like, I just put at the front of when I was really a beginning interpreter, of course, we're like, I'm beginning interpreter, but pretty soon it was at the front of my mind, and my focus and my aim was to bring relief and strength to the tightness and constriction in my arms and my shoulders, and that tiredness. So that's the restoration of the nervous system. And building more strength in my back, so my shoulders could be in a more healthy position. And that's just so important to put at the front. I practice for things that, for now, I practice for that neck, for that shoulder, for that back, for that headache, for that symptom I'm having, for that feel like I'm getting sick. I practice for that. I have a practice for all those things for the now, but I'm also practicing for, I don't know what's going to come. And I'm practicing for that future self. And one thing that I'm thinking about today, that my family has, almost all my members have really, really, really severe back problems. And severe back problems often happen, like you have an event, and then you're on your back and you take your medication, you do your exercise and you feel better, and then you keep going on, and then you have another event. And that's pretty much the pattern of almost all my family members, including one who'd had has had 4 back surgeries. Now, I've always had like lower back kind of tenderness and even pain, but never an event like that. Except just at COVID, I was trying to find something else outside of what I practice. Watching some video on YouTube. No, it was actually a program, but it was still a video. And my back went out. And I think it was also the stress, like it's not, the body, I don't want to go too far into this, but, different areas of the body have certain emotional connections or life event connections. And so stress, back, I think that was all combined. That's the only time my back has gone out. And I think because of what I've done, I am not like the rest of my family members, because I'm sure there's a genetic piece in there. And when it did go out, I wasn't happy. I was a big fat baby about it, but I knew what to do to get myself better. And within 2 weeks, I was fine. And I don't expect to have, because I went back to my practice. I didn't search outside of it to something I didn't know, with my thinking, oh, it's movement. I can do it because I move my body, and having kind of an arrogance about that. And then I threw my back out. All right. So it's kind of a tale of warning, I guess you would say, because you can go to a class, you can watch YouTube videos, and they could be really great. But like I said, not all yoga is for people who have repetitive strain injury. And maybe you're wondering, like, how do I know? Well, there's one style that's very popular. All of it is good. All of it is wonderful. All of it is amazing, and all of it speaks to the same source. But they come from different places, right? And what I practice, I prefer to have a direct source to the source, which is why I go to India. But there's one very popular style that you're moving pretty quickly through the poses, and there's a lot of load bearing on the wrist. And I was talking to this interpreter the other day, who's also a yoga teacher, and those faster movements. And so I asked her, how is she doing with that? And she said, yeah, after a while, my wrists are hurting during my practice. And so like I said, all these actions are good for the body. It's about timing. It's about when you learn it. It's about how much you do it. It's about what you do before and what you do after. But if not taught properly, which is why I'm here, it can be problematic. So it's often that load of the shoulders, the load on the shoulders, arms, and wrist is not considered in your average yoga class. And you really have to be able to know how to, now I'm getting a little bit complicated, but in those load bearing poses, you have to know how to lift up. So here's gravity pushing down. You have to know how to resist that gravity. And that takes time and takes just learning. So I wanted to give you a little bit of what I did. Still making mistakes, as always, but I learned my lesson. And I'm really, 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 really grateful that I was able to, I knew exactly what to do for myself. Okay, are we ready to learn the next and last? I might do 2. We'll see how we go. Any other comments out there? All right, so I'm going to get up, and what you need is a chair. Okay. Need a chair, and I have brought in kind of 2 chairs. Make sure, let me pull this back. I don't know if you can see this really well. Okay. So I have a funny little yoga chair, and then I have a regular chair. We're going to do a twist in the chair. So I don't mean to make this complicated, but I do want to show you a few things that happen, because I taught this once. And a student wrote me back and said, oh my God, I threw my back out, and I thought about, what did he do? So I don't recommend you doing this on a rolling chair. Okay, here we go. So I have a regular chair with a high back, and then I'm going to show you something with this chair that I can step through and do it on the wall. Okay. But first, let's stand, because the first important thing about twisting is vertical. The spine has to lift up. We only learn twisting poses after we learn to extend. So stand here, your feet can be together. Press your feet in the floor, lift, grip, bring the weight back into your heels rather, so you feel your thighs. And then we're going to lift the arms up. Now, if you take your arms wide, or you can take them straight up. Sorry, my elbows aren't, my hands you can't see today, all right? I'm using a different camera. And maybe you can't hear me. Okay. All right, so the arms up, and then you're going to press those heels. So really make your legs work, push down into the floor and lift up. Just let's get some extension here, and then arms down. That's it. So I'm going to sit on the side of the chair with my feet on the floor. Whoops, can't see my feet. That's important. Someone wrote me the other day and said, where she's little, she's small, and at work, where she works, her feet are dangling. You got to sit forward. You got to bring something under your feet. You got to ground your feet. Don't have your feet dangling for period. All right. So now this, I just want to show you that this back of the chair it's fine for me. And it's actually nice because I have something to kind of lift my chest up to, push my hand. So I'm pulling with this front hand and pushing with the back hand to turn. But I want to turn around so you can see what's happening with my shoulders. It's going to work. Did I do this right? If your shoulders are tight and to bring your hand up here, this is constricted, then you need to find out, you need to use a wall, which I'll show in a minute. So if your elbow's up here, your shoulders up here, and you're gripping here because this is too high, your shoulders are tight, then you can actually take lower on your chair, or you take a wall, and I'll show you in a minute. So come back to center. And let's interlace the fingers. Why not? Lift the spine up. Lift up, keep that tallness, and turn. Now I want you to inhale, lift up. And so you're turning towards the leg in front. Mine's my right side. Yours, if you're mirroring me, you're on your left. And that's okay. You're going to pull with this opposite hand and push your chest away. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, turn. Good. Release, come back to center. And I'm going to change chairs because then you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. You're going to come to your other side. So say it's your left leg. Interlace your fingers. You can, if your elbows don't straighten, you can separate your hands. That's fine. Just reach your arms up, make yourself tall, and then turn. So you want to make your shoulder blades down. And this hand, that's the opposite of the hip that you're turning towards, is pulling. And this hand is pushing. And you want to connect. I think the other person I was teaching was holding his breath. So inhale, go up. Exhale, turn. Notice, inhale up. I'm not immediately turning my head. It's going to be the last thing I turn. And as I turn it, I'm going to look even further over my shoulder. And then come back to the center. We're going to repeat this again. And if I'm just going to show you how you can use a wall to do this. If you have a wall, you can take your hands on the wall, right? And so this might be better if you have tighter shoulders. And now I'm going to push with the back hand to turn the chest. So you're going to your, let's go to your right side, either holding the chair or fingertips on the wall. And inhale, lift up. Look up the wall, or look up the side of the chair, or look up the wall that's in front of you. And with an exhale, turn the navel. Inhale, lift up. Turn the bottom rib cage. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn the top rib cage, the collarbones, look over your shoulder. And if you look over your shoulder, turn your chest as well. Turn your trunk as well. If you're having neck problems, look over the opposite shoulder. Look in front. Don't turn your head. And then come back to center. And you're going to turn around to your other side. I'm going to come in here so you get to see me in all sorts of different directions. Lift your arms up. And then exhale, place your hands. Notice my elbows are a little bit out to the side, but not so my shoulder blades are up. Relax the shoulder blades down. Lift the front of your chest up. And with an exhalation, on your exhalation, turn your navel. Then inhale, climb up again. It's like you're a vine crawling up and spiraling around a column or pole. Inhale, lift up, climb up, and then spiral around. Your head will be the last. Relax your shoulder blades down your back. And then come back to center. And then today you're going to stand up. And if you remember, or maybe you don't remember, but the first day, I taught how to rest the head, which is a really great way to end your practice, is to just release your head down. So you can take this on a table, something that's comfortable. I have the flexibility to lower my trunk. My legs are flexible enough, but that might be the case for you, and that's fine. You bring this is going to be tippy for me, but you bring a table, your desk, and you rest your head. Keep your heels pressing down and your buttocks moving back. You can also do this seated on your chair and take your forehead on your desk. Something soft is nice for the forehead. And a few really full exhalations, and then slowly come up. That will really quiet the mind. So be here for a moment and feel your body, feel your breath, and notice the kind of what I call the color of your mind or texture of your mind. All right, so that's what I have for you today. It went a little longer than I expected because of my tech issues. If you have any more comments or questions, put it in the chat. And so you have all this week to practice those. I think it's got to be now 4 to 5 poses that I taught in total. And if you want a visual, you can always watch the videos again. But if you want a visual, sign up for the email list. And it will go, actually, no, DM me that you want it and I'll send it to you, because it went out in an email a couple weeks ago. And this twisting, I should say, and I failed to say, is so good for the back, good for digestion, energizing to your energy, to the energy. But again, if you're super stiff, don't overdo. And if you're flexible, find that lift. Don't just turn and turn and turn without lifting. And what else can I say? I said good for digestion, good for energy. All right, but always extend your spine first before you twist. All right, that is it from me. I hope this was helpful this month. I'll be sending out soon a poll for what we will cover next month. I have an idea, so look for the poll and put your vote in.